The next product I'd like to talk about is the AV extenders. This is a device that's used when you're not using HDMI and other types of video sources such as component or composite type outputs. The first one that we have is the transmitter. The transmitter that you see here has the different inputs that you can put in here. You have standard analog audio inputs, you have a digital input, and then you also have your component video inputs. They can be 3 component inputs. So that's an advantage when you're doing some CCTVs, that you can actually run 3 different cameras into this device. It also has a loop through on the bottom here, so that if you're going to an additional transmitter, you can loop those out to additional transmitters. On the side here, you see the RJ45 Cat5 connectors. These natively, without making any changes, will go to 2 receivers. On the other end, after you've connected everything to the transmitter, you're going to have the receiver end of it. The receiver end of it is pretty straightforward, but basically what you have are your outputs for your analog audio, your digital output, and then also your video output, which can be component or composite. On the side here, you have an adjustment for extremely long lengths up to 350 feet plus. You can adjust the amplifier that's inside here to kind of equalize the length of cable that you're using. And then you have your Cat5 inputs. These are coming from the transmitter, from the source side of the equipment. That's where you're going to connect your RJ45 connectors. This does pass IR. It is not a connecting block. It will pass IR to be able to connect to a connecting block, and that's what you see here. That is an added feature to the unit. All right, so now what we'd like to look at is how to connect the AV extender and the transmitter side. What you see here is the output coming off the DVD player plugged into the input of the transmitter. I'm not using any of the audio inputs right now, but I do have the option of having an analog or a digital input into the extender. The other one I have here are the 2 cables that would be going out to the TV side or the projector side. I have 2 Cat5 with RJ45 connectors on, same 568A termination. The other connections that you see here are for the dual application, so I'm going to show you going to 2 different TVs. Unlike the HDMI where it is optional to use the power, it's very important that you use the power on the AV extenders or it will not work. All right, like I mentioned earlier, is that the AV extender will allow you to have 2 receivers connected to 1 transmitter. I hooked it up on the other side with the 4 Cat5 cables. And what I'm going to show you now is those 2 cables coming into here. I have the component outputs coming to the TV. And I simply plug in the power now to my second TV. And now I have the DVD player running on both TVs off of 1 transmitter. So once again, it's an easy way to add additional TVs to 1 transmitter, and really gives you an easy way to pre-wire the house without running expensive cables around the house. And this will give you a better way to add a little bit more profit into your jobs and give you a new way to look at how to pre-wire your homes more effectively.